The views and opinions expressed on this show are solely that of the comedians featured on this program and does not necessarily reflect the views of KTVU Channel 2 or parent company Fox. The show is uncensored, and you may hear topics and language meant for a mature audience. Viewer discretion is advised.
How's it going, everybody, and welcome to Like It or Not Late Night. I'm Jason Toupes. I am your host. I got three comics standing by, and we're going to get into all sorts of spicy topics, such as Dean Cain becoming an ICE agent at 59 years old. Burning Man, is it a little overkill at this point? And we got to talk about it. The WNBA. Yeah, people are still throwing toys on the court, and not the toys your kids play with. Yeah, we're going to get into it as Like It or Not Late Night starts right now. All right, let's go ahead and get this started. I got three amazing comics standing by. This first comic, he performs all over the country. You've seen him in San Francisco. Put your hands together for Ronn Vigh. Ron, welcome.
Hey.
Hi.
This next comic, he tears up the Bay Area. I want to welcome Austin Carr. Austin, how are you?
Feeling good.
And then finally, he's a comic that you might be seeing all across the country. Dro Ochoa. Dro, how are you?
Hey, what's going on? How you guys doing? Doing good?
Good. All right, well, let's go ahead and get into it. Our first topic, Dean Cain, the actor, he has decided he wants to join ICE, and it's making headlines. What's your guys' thoughts on this? The 59-year-old actor joining ICE. Like it or not, let's go ahead and start off with you, Ron.
Well, first of all, his name is Dean Tanaka. That is his real name. So it is true because he's like Japanese, really, you know. So we're just going to call him that. And here's my thought. I don't like it. I think the wrong Superman was paralyzed. I'm continuously disappointed by anything with the last name Cain, right? So we got Dean Cain, disappointing. Herman Cain, disappointing. Raising Cane's chicken fingers, very fucking disappointing, okay? So moral of the story is don't trust anything ending in Cain.
What do you think about his age? You know, I mean, he's 59 trying to be, a crime fighter, basically.
Well, you know, the thing is that didn't he have a movie like in 2000 or so called like what was it, the Broken Hearts Club, right? And essentially he played gay in that movie, and he's conservative, but he's fine playing gay. I think he just really, wants the attention. He'll do anything. Like he was gay for pay then, and now he's ICE for the right price. And he's doing, by the way, since 2018, he's been doing real estate infomercials. So I think it doesn't matter about age or whatever. He just needs the money and the attention, because I think have all forgotten about Dean Cain. And I would like to further forget about Dean Cain. So,
Dro, what's your take? Like it or not, Dean Cain as an ICE agent?
To be honest, I didn't know who Dean Cain was, man. I had to look it up, and first thing I thought is, well, at least you don't have to wear a mask because nobody's gonna recognize him, you know? Right? But I don't know. It's kind of weird because I feel like isn't Superman like the most famous illegal alien? You know? Like,
that is true.
Yeah. I don't know. Like being Latino, it's already tough. Like, like right now, my biggest fear is like waking up in those El Salvadorian prison camps, bro. Have you seen those pictures?
Yeah,
like
that's rough. And
yeah.
Wouldn't it hurt your reputation if you got arrested by Dean Cain, you'd think?
Oh my God, by Superman?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that'd be tough.
You don't want to get arrested by a Batman or a different superhero, right?
No, not at all. Not by a guy in red underwear. No.
Austin, what's your thoughts? Like it or not, Dean Cain is an ICE agent?
Yeah, I mean, probably the most relevant Dean Cain has ever been. So I hope he's enjoying that. I guess his acting career really is dead. That sign-on bonus for ICE must be his highest paying gig recently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm with you. I mean, what makes this guy qualified to be an ICE agent, first of all?
Just that he said yes. I think they're clearly desperate.
I did hear
Yeah, go ahead.
I did hear he's been getting more political recently. In 2018, he was elected to the board of the NRA, which stands for Not Really Actors.
But all these guys from like these time periods of the 80s and 90s, like Scott Baio, right? Charles in Charge. I'm surprised that he's not out there trying to join ICE or something like right now, you know. They just need some sort of relevancy. They need to feel important in their life because they once had some sense of importance. And now maybe they just should do stand-up comedy. So they're just always feeling bad about themselves. And they don't, you know, I don't know. It's weird. I just don't understand what he thinks he's getting out of this. What I just don't understand this whole mentality of ICE and the ICE mob. It just makes no sense to me at all.
Well, he did it because he said he wanted to help save America, and in the process saved us all from any more Dean Cain movies.
Yeah, it's going to be a Dean Cain less Hallmark Christmas season, because from what I understand, that's his bread and butter, Hallmark Christmas movies. He's done like 12 of them in the last like 3 years or something.
Oh, so like maybe there will be like love at the detention camp or something like that, you know? That sounds like a Hallmark movie in the making.
I think they should allow Dean Cain to be like a part of ICE, but bike patrol, you know, like put him down a peg or two.
Give him a squirt gun.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm confused though. Did he join ICE? Did he get to join ICE, or did you just put it out there that he wants to join ICE?
So what I read was the fact that ICE has, because they want to recruit just about anybody, they eliminated the age cap below and under. So you can be as young as 16 and sign up. I don't know how that works, but there's no age cap. It used to be 40 years old. It was the maximum age you can be. So now they've opened it up because they need more bodies. I just don't think Dean Cain is the guy that you want.
Can you imagine situation? Being 16 and being allowed to join ICE? I'd just be trying to deport my Spanish teacher in high school who kept failing me, you know? That's what I would do.
All right, next subject. The WNBA, they're dealing with this kind of trend that they're embarrassed about. They don't want anything to do with. It's the fact that sex toys are being thrown onto the court. We've had 7 incidences so far in the last about 2 weeks where fans are throwing dildos on the court. And it's kind of getting a trend. Let's start off with you, Dro. What's your thoughts on this with the WNBA? Do you think that they're doing enough to kind of quelch this? And what was your thoughts when you saw this story, like it or not?
What can they do? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. As much as somebody's never used the dildo, I assume it's rubber. Does rubber set off metal detectors? Probably not.
I don't believe so.
But I also did think it might be like it actually sounds like the perfect thing to throw, you know? It's like, I feel like it's all in the grip, right? I feel like the weight of the balls will have to propel forward, kind of like throwing an axe, you know? But I think it'd probably be like, you know, probably a lot better feeling wet hands, you know, for the release.
So you'd practice at like one of those axe throwing places.
Yeah.
I just love that Dro thinks dildos have balls.
Dude, they do, right? The one I saw did.
Ron, what's your thoughts?
I knew you were all pausing to look at me when they said dildos have balls, and then they immediately went to me. And I'm too cheap to buy sex toys, so I don't know. I have a few thoughts on this. Okay. First of all, anytime that I try to get into a stadium for a sporting event or a concert is a goddamn nightmare, right? They're like, empty your pockets. You can't bring that gum in. You can't bring that water bottle in. You can't bring this in. Oh, you need a clear plastic bag if you're bringing in. But somehow people are just walking through security with dildos, just like petting them and moving along, you know? It makes no sense to me. Now, I would like to be a WNBA player with these dildos being thrown out. Like, they shouldn't be, like, I don't want them to injure the ladies playing in the WNBA. I don't want them to hit Caitlin Clark or anybody. However, this would be my opportunity to shine because I'd be on that court just waiting for them, and I would catch them in my mouth. Just as they come, like, right? Just like the gayest Sea World. That is what it would be. Just gay Sea World. I would be the halftime show. I'd be the before show. I would be so amazing. So if they're having trouble, just bring me in, okay? And I'll take care of it. I'll be the dildo. Wait, was there like a bat boy? I'll be I'll be the dildo boy.
That's the halftime show right there.
It is.
They need to start throwing fleshlights at NBA games. I think that's the next trend.
True gender equality.
Yeah, no, they really should make it out. I mean, I want to see blow up dolls chuck a Sibian onto the field, at a hockey game, really make it happen.
I saw an article today about it, actually, that a guy threw a dildo and hit a 12-year-old girl. So even WNBA fans can't hit their shots.
Throwing a dildo hitting a 12-year-old girl, that sounds like a Trump mating call. I'm
with Ron, though. I think they should just incorporate it into the game. Like, maybe make both teams jump for it, and whoever catches it gets stuck with the ball. It gives a whole new meaning to the phrase tip-off.
Totally, I like that.
I like that. Well, I will actually say this, that the people that are doing this, they are being charged with public indecency. They're also, one person got charged with disorderly conduct. If you're watching this at home and you're thinking we're having fun and games, just a reminder, this is not a promotion of this activity, but I'm just saying, be careful, because there's some stiff penalties coming out for this punishment.
I mean, moral of the story here is whatever. If you want to throw dildos, I'll give you my address, and I will stick my head out the window, and you can get it out of your system.
And by the way, butt plugs will show up in the metal detector, so just stay with the rubbers. Let's switch gears here. Burning Man is coming up in a couple of weeks. And we've seen the videos. You guys, I don't know, have you been to the festival before? What's your thoughts? Do you like the fact that this is a continuing trend? This has been going on for, I want to say, about 30 years now. Burning Man. Austin, let's start with you. Like it or not, Burning Man?
Burning Man, the event where everyone acts like they're there for the culture and the art exhibits and not the orgy tents. Did you know that I just found this out? There are orgy tents at Burning Man.
I did not.
Yeah, that
was actually the only thing I knew about.
Ron, what's your thoughts about this? Like it or not, Burning Man?
I mean, everybody tells me that I would like going to Burning Man, that I would love being there. And I'm like, have we met? I live very humbly, but I'm also high maintenance. Like, I like a good hotel. I like a good hotel bar. But I also have taught yoga for 18 years. So I think that they think like, oh, it's that trading, environment where like I can teach you yoga in return, you give me a blowjob. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe I would like that. What I do like about it though, is that it's the quietest San Francisco ever is the week that Burning Man is. And my favorite game is like a day or two before, you can go to like Safeway and stuff and you watch people checking out and you're like, homeless men are on their way to Burning Man. And that is always a fun game. But I think that I would like it like I like scents, like I like really natural, like I like that environment. Like I don't want to just be camping in the desert, but I kind of like a fun, gritty, musky place. So I think I would kind of like fit in there, but yeah, like, but why not? Like there's certainly worse things that people can, be doing. And so who gives a shit? Go out and Burning Man, have fun,
Dro, what about you? What's your thoughts about Burning Man? Like it or not?
To me, it sounds like rich people just get to pretend to be homeless for a week. They just they live in a tent. They do lots of drugs. They sleep with people that haven't showered in a while. Like it just feels like they're experiencing homelessness for feels like a trailer park for the rich.
Yeah. Yeah, it just feels like the Tenderloin with hotter weather. That's what it really kind of comes down to.
Tech people will spend their money on anything, but apparently this is the first year in a while that it hasn't sold out right away because it's getting so expensive. And it's just, they're calling it funflation. And it's crazy that the cost of living is so high in California, you can't even pay to go be homeless in the desert.
Well, I know. It's true because like what the event is about sounds like complete opposite of like what you would pay for, right? Because it's all about bartering and creating that like community and just environment of that. So I don't know. I think at this point too that I'm too old to even try it. If anybody here was to go to Burning Man, I would have thought for sure Dro would have been at Burning Man.
Nah, I'm too poor for sure.
All right, we're gonna start a GoFundMe. Let's send Dro to Burning Man.
If you guys fund it, I will definitely go.
All right, easy enough. You'll be our reporter, our late, like it or not, late night reporter at Burning Man. How about that?
Man in the orgy tent.
All right, let's keep it going. Talking about expensive, the fact that almost every transaction now seems like it follows with a tip, whether it's going to go to get a cup of coffee, whether it's going to a restaurant, whether it's picking up something, it just seems like now every transaction comes with, you have to tip a person. Are we on board with this? I mean, it's been around for a while now, but the fact that, is it kind of overkill? And especially the fact that we've actually seen wages starting to rise with a lot of these companies. Restaurant workers are making a little bit more, whereas tip culture, it was because you're making minimum wage. Now it's kind of like almost forced onto you. Ron, let's start off with you. Tip culture, like it or not?
Like, I will always be tip culture. And if I ever go back to working in restaurants again, I will never work at a place that, they do pool houses. There's all sorts of different things that they do now, including gratuities, so that where you have an hourly wage. I don't like that. And maybe it's because I was just, started working in restaurants in the 90s and so forth. And tip culture was very much a thing. And maybe it has gotten out of control because I do feel like everywhere you go, for every little tiny job there is. But I've broken up friendships with people who wouldn't tip. I remember one time, a really long time ago, maybe in like the mid 2000s, somebody picked me up from Oakland Airport, a friend of mine, and he volunteered to pick me up from the airport. But I think it was just because he wanted to show off his brand new BMW that he just purchased with cash. He said, "Let's go to eat." We went to Baghdad Cafe in San Francisco that used to be there on Market Street. I wasn't that hungry. I got a plate of fries. That was it. The bill came. It was like $20. I saw that he didn't leave a tip. I just quietly pulled a $5 out of my pocket and put it on the table. And then he started yelling at me. He goes, "That's really shitty of you. You calling me out." I go, "I didn't call you out. I just left a tip quietly because you didn't tip." He goes, "Well, I just bought a new BMW. I can't afford a tip. Their boss should pay them more." And unfortunately, that's just not the way it fucking works. Okay. Yeah. Everybody needs to make a living, and it's a part of our culture here in America. So just got to go ahead and do it. And I'm not I don't think you need to be like a crazy tipper. I mean, if you jived with the service, thought it was really great, go through the roof. But I mean, I feel like 20% is the standard in our society for like a full service restaurant and that sort of thing. And yeah, I'm just pro tipping. And
what about like stuff that's kind of on the minor end, whether it's like, a cup of coffee or something like that's super quick, or really something that's like not normally tipped upon. What's your take on that?
Like a dollar or change, because they're still doing. Somebody is still serving you. It's still a broader part of the service community. Mm-hmm. And I just think pay it forward. Pay it forward is just a way. If I put a little bit out there, it will come back to me one day. And I totally believe in karma and paying it forward. And it's just a part of our society, and everybody needs to make a living. And I just feel like if you can't afford to, it was okay. Here's a funny thing. I was just in New Jersey. And New Jersey, where I'm from, has tons of tolls. Okay, you pay so much in tolls, and I get to the toll booth, and she's like, "The guy in front of you paid your toll." And I was about ready to speed off. I'm like, "Yay!" And then I pumped the brakes. And I was like, "Oh wait, I should pay the toll for the person behind me." Right. And she goes, "Yeah, you could do that." I'm like, "Yeah, I want to do that. I don't want a free ride." So I do believe in tipping culture. I believe that everybody needs to make a living. I don't think you have to go crazy, but if you can afford to buy something and it's in a situation where tips are encouraged, you should give something.
I hear you. Austin, what's your take on that?
I misunderstood the topic. I thought minor transactions was like a sex trafficking thing. I didn't. Ghislaine Maxwell is a big tipper, but anyway, no. Tipping on a minor transaction. Who's tipping on a major transaction?
Yeah,
we're closing on your house. We saved your son, but we've added a 20% gratuity. No, I don't know. I'm all for tipping. I tip all the time, but on my terms. Yeah. I don't think I like the expectation. But of course, you tip on a minor transaction. You throw an extra $1 somebody's way. They're sad. I'm sad. Give them $1.
Dro, what's your take?
I worked in restaurants a lot, so I'm very pro tipping. But it does get annoying at some minor transactions. I don't like that they flip the screen onto you and they look at you the whole time you're doing it. It's like, hey, I will tip you, but I don't want to feel bullied about it,
Yeah.
Good point.
Yeah, definitely coffee. I'm a black coffee drinker, so I kind of tip very small on that, maybe $1. But if you're drinking a double mocha, latte frappuccino, you better be tipping, I think I'm definitely not going to tip AI. Definitely not tipping Waymos because I feel like they're not doing anything.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you all. I think tipping is really a good sign of like kind of almost good karma. I worked in restaurants and I know, through college how much a tip really was important. And it's actually way more important, not just because a lot of people, I think they tend to think of tipping as, oh, you're just giving that server or somebody who helped you out in that transaction, that cash. But tipping actually, a lot of people don't realize is it's a trickle down effect. A server will tip out their busboy. They'll also tip out sometimes the dishwashing staff, the bartender, the maitre d' or the hostess. And so it really is a part of that thriving economic, but the one thing I don't really like is when restaurants kind of hide that little gratuity in that charge, and now you're starting to see it with some of these things like, oh, it's a, healthcare fee and it's this fee and that fee. And then all of a sudden,
well, I do have one thing to add to this, and that is that I think some really bad companies are using our tipping culture to their advantage. For example, Uber and Lyft. I feel like when Uber and Lyft first started, you paid your fare and the driver got a fair amount of that. Now drivers are getting such a minuscule amount of that, and it's expected that they're going to make money based on the tip. And it's like, I tip and we should tip, but I don't think that should be the companies should pay. They should pay. Like they shouldn't expect that to be a part of it. And then you're just screwed if people don't tip. And
what if we go back to like what if we go back more to a cash culture where, instead of tipping through the app, you just hand the driver $5 or whatever? Are you more on board with that?
Yeah. I mean, why not? It doesn't have to be reported. I mean, even like I always try to tip in cash if possible, but like sometimes it's not possible. If you're out with like 4 people and the bill's $400-$500, it's kind of hard to piddle together like the $100 between 4 people. Sometimes it's not possible, but if I can like leave cash, I always try to leave cash versus credit.
All right, I will say this one thing that kind of does bother me: asking for tips at comedy shows that have paid tickets.
That is true, but that is I mean, God, we don't have hours and hours and hours to dive into this because that is a very special relationship between venues that want to host comedy but don't actually want to pay out for comedy, and then performers that want to be paid, and then the producer to show is in between, and it just becomes this whole thing where not every producer knows really what they can ask for, and they're afraid to ask for these things. And then the comics, they spend taking BART. Maybe you're not even driving, you're taking BART. BART can be expensive to a gig. If you're only getting $20, now you're putting 10 and 15 out. Sometimes these things are, but yeah, enough is enough too. If people paid $30 and then let's say there's a drink minimum and then you're begging them for tips on top of that, that is a bit pathetic. And I completely understand that.
I will say, as a caveat to anybody watching this, if you go to a comedy show and you really like a comedian, pay them directly, and go, that was really funny. Here's $20. That's one piece of advice, So what's your guys' take on that? We've all been on shows like that.
That was very awkward to be part of it, especially if they make the announcement for tipping right before you're about to go up. Oh, that's the worst for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, or when you're helping to run someone else's show and they send you out with the tip jar, and now you have to be the sad boy with their hands out.
I mean, I think like the play nowadays, since we do rely on things like Venmo, or I use gay Venmo, which is called Homo, and like if you can just put a QR code up there, then that is like, you mentioned it a couple times, they see it on the way out, but nobody has to make awkward eye contact or shake a tip bucket in front of them or feel pressured into it. They could choose. Because what I do find about people, especially people who are not at comedy on date night, but that they are true comedy fans, is that they really do want to like help out the comedians. They love comedy so much. And that's why. Do you think anybody wants a comedian's merchandise? No one wants our shitty merchandise. We sell merchandise because these people actually they feel like they had a nice cathartic evening of comedy. They understand what we do and they admire it and they want to give us something for doing it, but they don't want our shitty 3XL t-shirt or our magnets or anything else that we're selling, So I think it's along the lines, like if they want a tip, they will, but we shouldn't shame them for it and we shouldn't force them to it, even if it's a free show,
Yeah.
Yeah,
well, you're absolutely right. Merch, I rarely see merch of comedy clubs or comedians on anybody other than comedians. So Austin, there is.
I mean, and that is true. I just wrote the other day on like Threads or something that that the only way that people could potentially think that I'm ever straight is that 80% of my clothing is from comedy clubs. Like I'm like literally, I'm wearing comedy. I mean, look at Austin right there. It's like we are the ones who. I mean, I feel so bad every time. I'm finally out of them, but I feel so bad every time that like people buy my like shitty magnets. I mean,
Yeah.
but then magnets are kind of fun because nobody really buys a magnet because they want it. They just have something to put on the fridge, slap it there. Oh, look, we did that. It's a little memory. So I'd feel worse with these like t-shirts,
Yeah. Well, now you got stickers. That's the hot merchandise. Is stickers. So
comedy merch is just a loophole. It's tip laundering. It's a way to shame us for a tip.
All right, let's get into our final subject. We've all traveled. We're comedians. We've been on airports. We've seen it. People traveling in all sorts of clothes, whether it's pajamas or just they look like they walked in from a shelter. But this idea of a dress code while you fly, do you guys like this idea? Some airlines are flirting with it as a possibility. Flying in pajamas. Are you guys on board with that? Let's start with Austin. What's your thoughts on this? Like it or not? Dress codes while you fly?
I'm all for it. Pajamas on an airplane, hell yeah. Who dresses up for a flight anymore? They used to wear suits on an airplane back when they didn't know if it was going to make it off the tarmac and they were going to fall off the sky. They're already dressed for the funeral. Like this is 2025. You can watch Nacho Libre at 30,000 feet and trip out on some gummies that you ate and think somebody's an alien. Like,
yeah.
An airplane it should be a party. Wear your PJs, pull your dick out, ladies, whip out the lingerie, film your TikToks. Like, let's party.
So you're flying Spirit or Carnival of the Sky.
Yeah.
Ron, what about you?
Okay, well, I think you all know that I used to be a flight attendant. Yes, I did that job to keep stereotypes alive. And but I was a flight attendant, and it was a different time too because it was the early to mid 2000s, right? So social media wasn't a thing. We weren't constantly shaming people. Planes were nicer, and so maybe because planes were nicer, people want to dress up a little more. But here's the deal: I have started dressing a lot sloppier on planes myself. I flew Spirit today. I was wearing sweats. And you know what? Planes are fucking dirty. They're disgusting, okay? And so I actually travel with plain clothes, hotel clothes, and regular people clothes for going out. And so I wear my hoodie and everything on a plane. I put it over my head. I put my eye mask on and everything, and I'm there. And those clothes don't touch me again until the return trip home. And I have a whole other set of hoodies and sweats for the hotel room and hoodies and sweats to wear out. So I feel like air travel definitely isn't what it was, and I don't think like people care anymore. And I'm like a status queen. Like I'm constantly chasing like my status. I'm the guy who will fly across country just to get enough points to renew his status so I could maybe get a first class upgrade one time. That is what I do. But I would still wear sweats. And I want to give all the viewers a helpful tip here. I might be banned from every airline after doing this if this gets out there, but complain. Because planes are always dirty. There's always something to complain about. On most airlines, even Spirit, they always give like $30 for every complaint. Just complain. You could always find something. I have not been on a clean airplane since 1985. And even today, it was like disgusting. Just snap a picture, send a little complaint. When you're a comedian, that $30 credit will really, will really help you. I don't know. You might want to edit that. but it's true. And
what are you talking about? That's going to make the reel.
I'm not making shit up, though. There is I'm not going to make shit up. I'm not going to make something up just to complain. But when you open your eyes, there's always something on an airplane to complain about. So much so, I do this all the time that my boyfriend calls me Coupon Karen. That is what he calls me now.
Dro, what about you? Are you flying in pajamas or not? What's up with you?
I definitely fly. I wouldn't say pajamas, but definitely the most comfortable clothes. Like with the amount of times I've been delayed, like I might as well be in the most comfortable clothes. Like I wait for planes, like Christians wait for Jesus to come back, bro. Like it's tough. So yeah, I dress like a newly divorced dad when I'm at the airport. But yeah, I feel like
Bro, you dress like a newly divorced dad all the time.
I guess you're right. So all right. So I just kind of I guess I'm always dressed in pajamas, to be honest.
I was in first class to Philadelphia last week and on the way back from Newark, and I was in sweats and joggers the whole time. You know, they're not making it nice. Flying is not a nice experience. So we're just meeting them with the same energy, right? You know, when you go on stage and you're like, the more energy you give us, we're going to give you. Well, it's the same thing. They're giving us shit energy with cramped seats and no food or whatever. We get to show up like fucking slobs, all right? And this is coming from a gay guy, okay? Gay guys, I know that we're all up there and we're supposed to be all dressed to the nines. Fuck that shit, okay? No, just go. Gay guys, if you're listening, dress like slobs on planes and go eat Chick-fil-A, okay? We're taking back America.
Raising Cane's.
I think if you're in first class, you have to dress shitty just to keep everyone else on their toes. You know, you've got some buttoned up businessman looking at you like, what the hell does he do?
No,
well, I
like
remember the days though of like when I first started flying, and I admire all these guys, like these businessmen, and they're opening a newspaper and looking at the stocks, and like I want to be like that one day. You don't even see that on airplanes now. Everybody's just miserable. They look miserable. It's a miserable time. Let's just all be miserable together.
Let's get through it.
Well, the things that people do on planes are kind of disgusting. The amount of like no shoes on. When I was a flight attendant, I would sit in the aft galley and people would go to like the bathroom on red eyes with no shoes on. I'd be like, you're going to walk into that lavatory with 10 toes and leave with 12 toes. Okay. It is disgusting. It is a petri dish. It is. And don't drink the coffee on the plane. Don't drink the tea. Don't. And people will always talk about, hey, those lines aren't clean or whatever, or that potable water, whatever. No, I have a different take on it. Okay, a take that I've experienced, because there's no sinks in a galley, right? There's not like a full service kitchen in there. So when you have to dump the coffee and you have to dump the tea out before and after, like, or after like every flight, and before you start the new pot for the next flight, because you can't land and take off with the things filled, you have to dump them out. Where do most flight attendants dump them out? They dump them out in the toilet. So then when you go to the toilet, it's hovering over. So while it's not touching anything, you best believe that there's going to be some backsplash. There's going to be some particles coming up in the air, you know? So that's why I say don't do that. Bring your own.
Talk about some shitty coffee right there. So. All right, guys, before we get out of here, why don't you tell the internet and the rest of the world where people can find you on social media, and if you got some big gigs coming up. Why don't we start off with you, Ron? Where can people find you on the internet?
On the internet, what is my website? It's RONN VIGH. I have 2 N's in my name, okay, for Game Flair. And so you find me there. Find me on Threads. I don't really post on X anymore, but find me on Threads. Find me on IG. I'll be in Austin, Texas this weekend, and then I'll be at Cobb's opening for Ginny and Garofalo August 26th, 27th. So I'm around. So find me. Hit me up. Find me on Venmo. My name, RONNVIGH. Send some money.
You're the first comic to pump their Venmo. I love that, by the way. I absolutely love that.
I didn't specifically say I mean, it is a free show here, right?
Yeah, so. It is a free show. Austin, how about you? Where can people find you?
Yeah, Austin_Carr on Venmo, since we're doing that. Austin.
I did it first, okay?
You know what? That's what I'm going to start putting down now. I used to put Instagram handles. Now I think I'm going to be putting Venmos up there.
Yeah, send me some money so I can buy Ron some new magnets.
Okay.
My site's austincarr.live. You can find me on socials at Austin Carr Comedy. And if you're ever in San Francisco, I run a fun monthly show at a speakeasy. So hit me up. We'll hang out.
There you go. Finally, Dro, where can people find you?
My Instagram is at Dro Knows Comedy. And then I'm currently on tour this month, opening for Martin Amini. You can find me this month at the DC Improv. You can find me at Helium in Portland and some other venue in Tacoma.
Awesome.
And Dro's Venmo is RONNVIGH.
Oh man, this is one of the best shows that we've done. I would just want to say thank you very much, all you guys. That was great. Hope you join us again on This Has Been Like It or Not Late Night. I'm Jason Toupes. I am your host. Hope to see you all very, very soon. Good night, everybody.